The one strategy I picked was exit slips. An exit slip strategy requires the students to write responses to the questions that the teacher asked at the end of the class or at the end of a reading lesson. The exit slips help the student write down what they have learned and express what they're thinking about the new information. Exit slips are easily incorporated writing into the classroom area and require students to think critically in some cases, I would say. So, what exit slips are prompts to document the learning of the students. Some I've seen, like at the AtLit website, write down one thing you learned today. Um, from what I've seen from exit slips in my subbing of 2 years, sometimes that's a hard thing to do for the students. They have a hard time getting what the one thing they learned out of the lesson. And they sit there for a while and it can drag out. Also discussing how it could be used in the real world. That might employ a higher level thinking. That also might run into some roadblocks. Some other prompts, what you didn't understand, that can elicit some responses that can help you as a teacher find where maybe your lesson plan was a little weak. Write one question you have about today's lesson. Again, it's not as much prompting as they have to come up with something. And I've seen students struggle about that because they're unsure. They just had this new information, how to write a question about today's lesson. That maybe it's new to them and it's hard to think of a question about it. Um, Also, yes, it does evaluate your effectiveness of your instruction. So I'm an IT guy. I have an IT background and degree. The main key thing I think with exit slips are what data do you want back from the students? What do you want as feedback? So you have to tailor your questions to what kind of information you want back. I have a great example that I did this week with another teacher. I was in a sixth grade classroom and I was helping out some special ed kids as a pull-in as we went through the lesson about what is the theme. The teacher described the theme, gave examples of the theme, what makes up a theme, and then after the lesson, she gave out some exit slips. But it wasn't, what do you think a theme is? And write down in a response. Hers was, which one of these is not a theme? So there was three answers that were a theme, and then there was one answer that was incorrect. So that really made the students think, going, oh my gosh, which one is not correct? So we did the exit slips. I helped collect them all. She sat at a U table. She went over the exit slips. She put the ones that were not correct in a pile, and she proceeded to call them up in small groups. And that worked out pretty well because then she reemphasized what a theme is. I think the one that was the wrong answer, something with details. A theme is details of the story. Not, I would say that is not a theme. That's more details than the theme, but that was the one that did not fit with the others. So she had to reemphasize on her lesson on themes with about, I would say, 5 out of 20 students. But maybe she can now go back and look at the exit slips and go, how can I approach this differently to make sure all my students know what a theme is? And maybe she can do that better next time and go, oh, I only had 2 students that didn't get the exit slip right. I have seen exit slips used throughout classrooms. Sometimes it's just a small feedback that they were just paying attention. I, as a teacher, would want more feedback saying, hey, how was my lesson plan? How could it be better? Or in some cases, some exit slips I've seen, they totally missed the boat. So the teacher had to redesign the whole lesson and go back to the lesson. But that's what you want. I mean, you don't want the class to all miss. That's not good, but you're not sure how it's going to go until you do it. So um so that's a big reason I think to use exit slips. It also a side benefit keeps the students on their toes because they're going to need to fill an exit slip. In some cases, after the exit slip is done, they can get probably some free choice, maybe some computer time, something they value. So they want to make sure they do it right. But most of the teachers I've seen will check the exit slips right away. And if they're not filled out correctly, they will call the students up right then and there. So the students know they have to try their best, for example. How to create the exit slips? It just depends. Again, what are you looking to get back? It can be very simple, a question or two. I've seen a small quiz being used. I've seen worksheets being used as exit slips. Um, so say example in math, oh, you have to do this worksheet, and then it's quickly checked by the teacher to go, okay, did my lesson hit home? Did they do well on the worksheet, for example? So that is also I'd like to add again on the Adlet website, uh, they have gone and I've seen them use various Google Docs to do it also, and stuff on items on computers. Um, again, like it says here, post-it notes. I've seen teachers do post-it notes, hand out post notes to the class. They answer the question, put their name on it, something simple. Don't have to get some from the copier, and it can be used as a in progress assessment of the lesson plan that you taught, and also, finding out, did you connect with the students? Thank you.